oftentimes when you begin to use a simple sales tracking, you will already have a list of customers or leads that you want to be able to easily bring into the software, and you don't want to have to retype all that information. So through simple sales tracking, we've got the ability to import leads, opportunities, accounts, and contacts. So in this video, we'll go over how to do that, and by the end of it, you'll see exactly how it's done. So if you look here, you've got the ability to import leads, opportunities, and accounts straight away. So let's have a look at leads. So choose leads, and it brings us to the page where we can import them. Now you can, there's two ways you can do this. You can use your spreadsheet that you've got already. So we provide a template, and in fact, we'll just open that up right now. So here you can see the spreadsheet template, and we could simply copy our spreadsheet over to the information from the spreadsheet over to this one, or we could just create or just use the one we have already, and I'll show you the difference here and why that's important in a second. But first we'll start by saving this spreadsheet. Okay, so we'll give it a new name. So at this point, I've saved the CSV spreadsheet and browsed to it on my computer and chose it, and it's selected it here, ready to import. We've got, again, another two options. So if we are re-importing a set of data that we want to update, so say you have a big list of leads that had a certain status, and then you wanted to change the status of all those in one go, then you could choose this option. So if it finds a match, then update it instead of creating a new one. If we choose always insert as new records, then even if it does find a matching record, it's going to create a duplicate. So you can see a little description here about your options. So the next step is we'll do the import. So click next. So this is the second and final step for us to do. Now, because we use the spreadsheet, the templated spreadsheet, it's already predefined. See, all these drop-down lists have all of the options selected. So I can see here, these are what's in this drop-down list is representative of the first row of records from the spreadsheet. So if you go back and you looked at the spreadsheet, the very first row in there, also called the column headers, are these names. And again, I'd encourage you to read through the text as you went, because it just gives you a little bit more background on exactly what you want to do. For example, you want to make sure those column headers, the names, are unique. You don't have any blank columns and that kind of stuff, or it might start throwing errors at you. So have a quick read of it. It only takes a minute, and it should go pretty straightforward. So because we use a spreadsheet, it has automatically selected. It knows which columns to choose. Now, had we used our own spreadsheet and it didn't automatically recognize the column name, then what we'd have to do for each one of these, for the ones that we had, so say for name, we would have to go, okay, what column is it in our spreadsheet that's representative of name? So maybe there's, business name, it could have been called. So then we'd choose business name, and that would map. That's what this page is doing. It's mapping or linking columns from your spreadsheet to fields within simple sales tracking. So the drop-down lists items, this represents the columns in the spreadsheet, and over here are the field names within simple sales tracking. So that's what you're doing for mapping, and we can see it's going to import them as leads. So if we submit that, it'll do the import for us. And if we go back to the leads page, we'll actually see the one that we just imported. So this was it. It was called Mary Jane. If I open that up, we can see here's the information, and this is all the stuff all this information was what came out of that spreadsheet. If you've got quite a few records that you want to import, so say it's not uncommon to have hundreds or even thousands of records that you want to import, there's a couple of things to mention, and again, it's in the description if you read it. The um, you can upload or import an unlimited number of records overall, but you're limited to 1,000 records per import, right? So if you go in there, you take a spreadsheet, it'll do the first 1,000, and then the next time you'd have to go and do it again for the next 1,000 to get up to 2,000, and then so on, 3,000, 4,000. Um, Often it's a really good idea to just take a subset of your records and try importing them first. So take half a dozen records and from your spreadsheet, even if you have hundreds, just take half a dozen, import it, and have a look at how they look in the list. So you can click on leads, you can see, okay, here's how it entered it. Um, you may look at it and go, oh yeah, okay, it set a default status of in progress. Oh, maybe I don't want it to be in progress. Maybe I want to set it as not started. You may realize that, oh, I didn't map the email. Okay, there's all these fields, but maybe I forgot to map email address. So you just get a sense of it, and it saves. If you ended up importing thousands of records, then what'll happen is you'll have pages of data here. And even though you can actually choose a whole bunch of records at once and then delete them in one go, you still have to do that on a page by page, and it just can slow you down if you've got to do that. So importing opportunities and accounts works in exactly the same way. Um, Leads, it's worth mentioning that leads are generally the starting point of, or in fact, in simple sales tracking, is always the starting point for a sale, not as opposed to a contact. So it's come up a few times in the past where people will email in or phone in and say, I've imported my contacts. How do I convert a contact to a lead? And in simple sales tracking, at the moment, it's not possible to convert a contact to a lead. So you can convert a lead to a contact, but contacts are treated as extra information that's added on or attached to your sale. So we actually used to have, if you look here at this drop down box, create a new, you used to have the ability to import contacts here. And we actually took that and moved it because we want to encourage people to think leads. But if you actually go to the contacts page, you've got the ability to import them from here. So I can click import. And again, very similarly, although it's a different template, you can import your contacts directly into there as well. So that covers importing records. It might seem a bit tricky at first, but it's pretty straightforward. And once you give it a few minutes, and you should be all set. Thanks for watching.